In this video, we will look at advantages and disadvantages of holding your buy-to-let in a limited company. So this is a question that we often get asked. Why do buyers hold property in a limited company? What are the advantages?
Holding buy-to-let property in a limited company can offer some tax benefits. So for example, if you are a high rate taxpayer, holding it in a limited company can be more beneficial than if you was a private landlord. When you are a private landlord, the income that you generate has to be shown on your annual tax return. And if you're a high rate tax band, then that can mean that you pay a high rate tax on the income that you generate from that buy-to-let. Also, if you're just under the high rate tax band for a private landlord, that income that you generate from the property may take you into a high rate tax bracket and therefore you end up paying more tax.
Holding property in a limited company has one rate of tax banding, which is effectively your corporation tax. This could make it a bit more tax efficient for yourself. Our advice would be speak to a tax advisor before going down this route. It's very easy to set up a limited company before you apply for a mortgage. It can be done in as little as 15 minutes. And the good news is no trading history is required. Once again, speak to a tax advisor or an accountant before you set up your limited company to ensure it's been done correctly.
Also, when you own a property through a limited company, future planning can be easier. So for example, it's simpler to change the structure of the limited company rather than if it was a privately held property. If it's a privately held property, you do have to transfer that to another person, whereas with a limited company, the limited company structure stays exactly the same. This can prevent you from paying stamp duty, inheritance tax, and capital gains tax. This is useful if you plan to pass the business to your family in the future, or if you're wanting to change the shareholding of the limited company.
Another advantage of holding property in a limited company is because you can actually extend your portfolio a lot quicker. Retaining profits within a limited company helps to protect you potentially from tax liabilities. If you sell one of the buy-to-lets within the limited company, you're not making a capital gain, your business is actually making a profit. Therefore, you can use that profit as a deposit for your next purchase.
So now let's look at some of the disadvantages of holding a property within a limited company. The first disadvantage is that within a limited company, you don't have a capital gains allowance. As an individual, you are given a certain capital gains tax allowance each year, and every year that allowance changes. Within a limited company, you don't receive that allowance.
Instead, you'll be liable for corporation tax. Now, the amount of corporation tax you get charged will be dependent on the profit you make once you dispose of that property in the limited company. There are additional costs of holding property within a limited company. Now, these costs do need to be factored in before you start operating property within that limited company structure. Some of these costs are as follows.
So the first one is the preparation of accounts. That's normally done by an accountant, but that does come with a cost. The next thing is corporation tax. So you have to pay corporation tax on any profits that that limited company makes. There's also the costs of filing those accounts with Companies House.
When purchasing property through a limited company, a legal conveyancer may charge additional fees due to the amount of work that's involved. Also, depending on how many properties you hold in that limited company, you may be eligible for additional accounting charges if you do require an audit on that company. Your accountant may charge higher fees per year for filing accounts with Companies House due to the amount of work that's involved. Historically, the interest rate charged on limited company buy-to-lets tends to be higher than if you were to buy in personal names. Not all buy-to-let lenders will offer limited company buy-to-let mortgages. So what that means is that you will actually potentially have only a smaller product range to choose from when applying for a mortgage.
So there we go, some advantages and disadvantages of buying a property through a limited company.
Interested? Head to this video next.